Hey, gun people. All right, finally. God, I got a big old argument on my live feed because I couldn't find this video or didn't know or people weren't explaining it right. So let me do this video on this Army lieutenant. And I'm kind of in the middle on this one. I see the cop's perspective. I see the guy's perspective. I mean, if I had to choose who's more at fault, it's going to be government. They had the power. They had the choices. They did what they did. But most people have already seen it. But
driver, roll the window down. Felony traffic stop.
Notice he just got on the radio and said felony traffic stop. Okay, so that's kind of key. Remember, just because an officer thinks there's a felony, even if there was no felony, we're still covered because of what we believe. So he just said felony traffic stop, which shows his state of mind.
Put your hands out the window. Put your hands out the window.
I think I have this.
Turn the vehicle off. Put your hands out the window.
Yeah, I do. Sorry.
I can't tell. Put your hands out the window and turn the vehicle off. Okay. Put your hands out the window. Let me see your hands.
Okay, so he adjusts his camera.
He's not complying, Judge.
You see him sitting
on your side.
So he's got his elbow, his hand out the window. He's adjusting his camera. So, again, what happened before? They activated their lights and sirens and followed him for 1.5 miles. He did not pull over. And now he pulls over. Now he adjusts his camera, and he's not sticking his hands out the window. So, totality, I know everybody wants to see, man, this poor lieutenant, because he's, I don't know if he's black, Hispanic, whatever. He's not white, so he's got some sort of claim to fame that it wasn't his fault. So, he's not being cooperative, and he didn't pull over for 1.5 miles. The reason for the stop is there's no license plate. When you see no license plate, and then you couple that with a guy's not pulling over, he's failure to yield for 1.5 miles, that's a pretty long way with cops behind you with lights and siren. Now, his excuse later is going to be, I wanted to pull over in a well-lit area. And the cop points out that he already passed one well-lit area a block or so back. There was another well-lit area that he didn't stop at. So, I don't know what this guy's issue is. He's suing for $1 million. Of course, they're going to pay him because these are white cops. Well, I think one of them's white. I don't know about the bald cop, but we gotta do genetic testing now on victims and cops now to see who's at fault, to see what kind of blood you have in you. I guess that'll be the next thing.
Let me see your hands.
Okay, so his attitude and demeanor is definitely not cooperative. I'm not fearful, and almost I'm going to give these guys a hard time. Now, look, I think cops are out of control, and I think they treat citizens like shit, and I think they pepper sprayed this dude probably wrongly. But if you go 1.5 miles and you ain't got no plate, and I can't confirm whether the vehicle's stolen or not, and I can't run it and see who the license plate is, you're already breaking the law. Now we try to get you out at gunpoint, and you delay and detain us. I mean, you're kind of asking for force to be used to get you out of the car. The place to fight the cops is not on the road. Now, I get it, and I'm not saying I wouldn't do almost what this guy did, but let's see.
How many occupants are in the vehicle?
What's going on?
Not answering a question, he's asking questions. When crooks, normally, I'm not saying he's a crook, I'm just saying normally, when people ask questions or answer questions with a question, they're stalling, they're delaying.
How many occupants are in your vehicle?
It's only myself. Why are your weapons drawn?
Okay, so he answers, it's only myself. But he's looking in the mirror, and his hands are kind of in and out the window. But again, the guy seems fairly cooperative, but because of the tinted windows, they can't see in. They don't even know there's a dog in the back until later. So, again, is their fear or is their what they're asking and doing reasonable? I think to this point, it is. I think it gets unreasonable But at this point, it is reasonable.
What's going on?
Open the door slowly and step out. Open the door.
I'm not getting out the vehicle. What's going on?
Okay, right there, where do no people belong? On the ground. He's a no person. He said, I'm not getting out of the vehicle. When people don't get out of vehicles, that means, in a cop's mind, for safety-wise, you keep home ground advantage. We don't know what's in the vehicle. We can't see in the vehicle. You could have weapons. There could be multiple people. We don't know what the hell's going on. We want you out of the vehicle to remove you, just like we ask people to step out of the kitchen if we contact your house. There's too many weapons in there, pots, pans, knives, etc., forks. I don't want you in there having access to all those. So I always had people move out of the kitchen because I don't want to give them the access, because I don't know when shit's going to go sideways or whether they're on meds or if someone else is going to come around. I don't know. And because cops work in the I don't know arena a lot, they tend to focus on our safety, officer safety. Now, look, I've cracked on cops a million times for pulling that officer safety shit when it was bullshit. In this case, you have a car, no plates, can't run it, tinted windows, guy drove for a mile and a half, he failed to yield, and now he's kind of being what I would call semi-cooperative. He still wants to maintain control. I ain't getting out, and you're going to tell me what's going on.
Get out of the car. Open the door slowly and get out.
What's going on?
Get out.
4 times now they've told him to get out of the car, and he's refusing to get out.
Get out of the car now. Open the door and get out of the car. Hold.
Now he's being non-responsive. The only good thing that he did definitely do that's good is he kept his hands on the windowsill. And I think that was, I don't know if it was a bait and switch or if he baited these guys, but he does seem like he's trying to escalate this so he can make this into a black and white thing. I would venture to say if there was a black officer, he may have got out of the car. Now, he's going to say he didn't want to get out because white cops are killing black people, which is bullshit. Cops are shooting people when they shouldn't, but they're also shooting people that are doing stupid shit and committing crimes.
Hold. Keep your hands outside the window. Keep your hands outside the window.
My hands are right here. What's going on?
Get out of the car now.
Get out of the car.
Now, he's asking what's going on. These cops are so caught in robot mode, felony thing, we don't have to explain to you. It would have took 2 seconds to go, dude, you got no license plate. You didn't pull over for a mile and a half. This is a felony traffic stop. We need you to get out of the car. We're going to cuff you up, figure out what's going on, and we'll deal with this. It would have took 2 seconds for them to explain that and articulate that. But because we have allowed cops to become these authoritarian freaking tyrants, they don't report to anybody. They don't have to explain anything. They pull their guns and they will shoot you or use some other force because they can.
What's going on?
Get out of the car now. Get out of the car now.
I'm serving this country and this is how I'm treated?
Okay, so now again, now we're already justifying and making excuses. Look, a guy that's arguing with cops that have guns that point at him probably isn't too smart. Or he's trying to instigate. Or he's trying to stall. Most people, when cops, especially in this day and age, they'll freaking shoot you if you sneeze. I thought he was going for a weapon. I thought he was trying to infect me with COVID and sneeze and throw his saliva on me, so I had to kill him. For officer safety. So, I mean, they'll shoot you for anything. So if cops got their guns pointed at you and you want to sit here and argue, you cannot claim later, I was scared. I was nervous. This guy is chewing his gum, and he ain't scared, and he ain't nervous. That's going to hurt his lawsuit.
Yo, what? Guess what? I'm a veteran too. I don't obey. Get out of the car.
Now, this cop here, if you can tell, he's a prior Marine, Mr. You gave it an order, you got to follow it. Now get out of the car. Okay, so the bald guy, all he can do is yell and use force. He's going to be the one that ends up pepper spraying him and threatening him with taser and all this other crap.
What's going on?
Get out of the car now.
What's going on?
What's going on? You're fixing to ride the lightning, son.
I'm sorry, what?
So the cop, the bald cop, has time to explain that you're about to ride the lightning or take a ride, meaning you're going to get tased and you get electricity. So the cop has time to tell him that on what's going on, but nobody has the time to say, dude, this is a felony traffic stop. Your car ain't got no plates. We can't confirm registration. As far as we know, it's stolen until we prove different. You need to get out of the car and comply, or we're going to have to take you out. Nobody, I don't understand why cops just can't freak. You know why? Because they don't have to. Because they can treat people like shit, and they can tase you and pepper spray you and shoot you, and they will get limited liability, and the prosecutors won't prosecute them because it's hard to prosecute cops because the rules are very, we'll see.
Get out of the car now!
What's going on?
Get out of the car now!
So in his lawsuit, this is going to be where the civil jury is going to determine fault or liability. They may give him 50% of the blame and give the police the other 50%. They will not rule that he had no culpability and he did everything right. He went for a mile and a half. He refused to get out. The only thing he's going to get credit for is he held his hands out the window, which is, again, feigning cooperation. How many guys have raised their hands like they're giving up and draw a gun? How many guys act like they're going to do something? So when we deal with people, there's always people that feign cooperativeness only to get us to drop our guard and relax so they can then act and we have to react.
Get out of the car!
Sir, just get out the car. Work with us and we'll talk to you. Get out the car.
You received an order. Obey.
This kid is new out of the academy because they say later you're new. This kid is acting more like what officers should be acting like. He's trying to communicate. He's trying to talk. Notice he looks at this guy when the other guy goes, "You've been given an order, blah, 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 blah." This guy's trying to talk him down and de-escalate. The old timer's like, screw it. I'll just chase him or pepper spray him or shoot his ass. That's the problem and the mentality with most cops nowadays.
Get out the car. Work with us and we'll talk to you. Get out the car.
Work with us and we'll talk to you. And then the bald guy gets involved.
Sir, just get out the car. Work with us and we'll talk to you. Get out the car.
You received an order. Obey it.
I'm honestly afraid to get out. Can I?
Yeah, you should be. Get out.
So the bald cop goes up there and says, "Yeah, you should be," with a gun pointed in his face. Really? You should be. Nobody. See, this guy can threaten really well, but he can't form a freaking thought and try to treat this guy as a human being and talk to him. This is not a black and white thing. I don't even know if this guy's white. I didn't see his name or know what he is. This is not a black and white thing. This is a government out of control thing. All government tyrants act like this, and all pesky citizens get treated that way. Now, there has to be some responsibility for the pesky citizens to semi-cooperate. Now, when he says he's afraid to get out of the vehicle, that may be true. That's not why he didn't get out. I don't believe that. And had he said, "I'm afraid to reach down and undo my seatbelt because I don't want you shooting me because my hands will go out of your view," then I would be like, I don't blame him. I'm absolutely correct. He didn't say that. Later, he says that, but he didn't articulate that now. He could have undone his seatbelt way earlier. He could have undone his seatbelt when he was driving for a mile and a half when cops were following him with lights and siren. He could have undone his seatbelt when he put it in park and stopped. So this, "I'm afraid to get out of the vehicle. I had time to set up my camera so it would videotape me, but now I'm afraid to get out of the car," I call bullshit.
What's
Get
going on? What
Get
did
out
I
the car.
Get out now.
I have not committed any crimes.
You're being stopped for a traffic violation. You're not cooperating at this point right now. You're under arrest
For a traffic-
You're being detained.
So this guy's so upset at screaming and yelling, he can barely get his thoughts together. "You're under arrest. You're being detained. No, you're under arrest. You're being detained." And I can't tell. This, I think, is his real gun, and maybe this is a taser. I can't tell.
Okay, you're being detained for
For a
obstruction of justice.
traffic violation, I do not have to get out the vehicle. You have.
See, again, a no person. For a traffic violation, I don't have to get out. So you ask, what did I do? And now I told you, and now you have another reason why not to comply. I don't have to get out. If you knew it was a traffic violation, why didn't you just say, "I don't think I committed it, but okay, I'll get out"? So now the cops later, because this guy has a gun in his car, are later going to say, which is not going to fly in court, because they didn't know it till they searched the car, till he told them where it was at, that there was a gun. But they tried to throw it in his face saying, "Hey man, you had a gun in there. You can see why we were nervous." You didn't know he had a gun. See, when you get in a police tyrannical state, we're in a position right now in America to where pesky citizens are guilty until the cops say you prove to them that you're innocent. And if you don't prove to them you're innocent, they can shoot you, they can use force on you, and they can do whatever they want and do that tyrannical means without knowing if you're guilty or not. And they're covered. I mean, it's just sickening, man. I mean, I was in the career field for a long time, and the way cops treat people now, I'm just like, wow.
I haven't even told you why I'm being stopped.
Really?
Get your hands.
Get out of the car now.
So now he says, get your hands off me. Again, a no person. I'm not going to tell you anything. I'm not getting out of the car. I'm going to set up my camera. I'm going to drive for 1.5 miles. And now I'm going to argue with everything you try and do to stall and interfere. I think they should have hooked him for interfering, to be honest. But I'm sure that's not going to be popular.
Get out of the car.
Get your hands off me, please.
Get your hands off me. See, he says please, and that always kills me. People are like, well, he said please. He was being nice. Oh, so if I slap you in the face and say, I'm sorry, really nice, it's okay?
Get your hands off me.
You know what?
Resisting, pulling away, get your hands off me. I ain't getting out. I ain't stopping for 1.5 miles. I ain't answering your questions. No, no, no.
Get your hands off me. Get your hands off me.
Back up,
I
Daniel.
didn't do it.
Now, here's where the cops lose it. The cops lose their defense that they were in fear of their life. This guy's turning his head away from him. He's putting shit in his bag. He's putting away. This cop has dropped his gun. So how are they going to say this was a felony driving stop and we were in fear of our safety and the scene wasn't controlled and we had to have control because we didn't know who else was in the vehicle and it was a very nervous, dangerous situation? You left your vehicle from a position of safety. You walked up to the vehicle. You put hands on the guy. You put your guns away. And now you're going to claim I was in fear of my life. There's really no good guy here.
Do anything. Don't do that.
Sir, get out of the car
Don't do
now.
that.
Hey, sir, get out of the car.
It took him almost 10 minutes to find his pepper spray. It's a good thing it wasn't an emergency. Man, he had to dig that shit out.
Now.
Don't do. I'm trying to talk to you.
Okay.
I'm trying to
I'm gonna
talk.
talk to you. Just get out of my
Relax.
car.
Can you please
Get out.
relax? Can
Get
you
out.
please relax?
Okay, so 2 officers are this close to this guy. There's no reason they couldn't have taken control of his hands and unlocked the door. They were such in a panic and so busy screaming and yelling and wanting to get aggressive. Their fear of this guy is gone. They do not have fear from this guy. So any actions they do at this point saying that they were in fear of their safety is bullshit. Now, they're going to say, and they'll have a use force expert, well, this was a highly volatile, unsecure situation, and since they weren't able to clear the vehicle, there could have been other people in the vehicle, and he could have access to weapons, which we did, in fact, later find out there was a weapon in the car, which doesn't matter. But he can say it and get it out and ring that bell. So a use of force expert could maybe articulate why these cops were feared. I don't buy it. I didn't go hanging around a freaking car if I couldn't see who was in it. And I didn't put my gun away if I actually thought my safety was in jeopardy. So these guys lose the fact that they think they're in fear of their life. This is more of a control. We're going to show you who's boss. You're going to do what we tell you, and we're not going to play your game. And in some aspects, I'm kind of okay, but I just think, look, you got the guy out. I mean, I'd have grabbed a freaking wrist. I'd have twisted that wrist outside. He would have been begging me to get out of the car. Dude, let me get out. Ow, you're hurting me. He'd have been screaming. But I would have grabbed one of those wrists and wouldn't have let go. And that would have been it. And you grab a wrist and you start taking that shoulder and I start pulling that wrist toward the rear of the car with your elbow and wrist locked up, you're going to be in some pain. You're going to climb out that car out the window, which is okay with me as long as I get you out. But, I mean, if you control the guy on this side, you've got 2 officers. Somebody could have went around to the other side. They're both on the same side. There could have been an officer on the other side with a gun clearing the car. He could have opened the car door. He could have unlocked it. I mean, they tried to unlock the door several times. Finally, how do they get this guy out? They unlock the door and open the door. That's how they finally get him out.
Relax.
Get out of the car right now.
This is not how you treat a vet.
So he's got one hand on the door and one hand in here. Officer, if you were so in fear of your safety and so in fear of your life, why did you put your gun away and have your 2 hands occupied, one on the door lock and one on the handle? How were you so scared? How did you put your face in front of this guy's hands to where he could have punched you in the face, pulled a knife or stabbed you, and could have done all this if you were in fear of your life. Why did you put yourself in this position? This is another thing that bugs me about cops that don't, but again, it doesn't matter. Why do they care? You can ask me all those questions. At the end of the day, I'm going to go back to work. I'm not going to get fired. I'm going to keep my retirement. You can't sue me because I have immunity. Why do I care about what you think or what you think your rights are? Why should I care? That is the problem with the lack of accountability for officers nowadays. This is not a color issue, people.
I'm actively serving this country, and this is how you...
Has nothing to do with it. I'm actively serving. He's looking to be a victim. He's a professional victim. And you know what? I think he's going to get his ass rolled up. I think when he goes back to his command, he better win this $1 million lawsuit, because this guy ain't getting promoted, and he's freaking, his ass is going to be lit up. You're a freaking lieutenant. You know how to follow orders. If one of your fucking troops did that to you, you would be having them up on insubordination. You were out there in a well-lit area. You drove for 1.5 miles. You totally didn't cooperate. You started trying to play that you were serving a country. You implied that you were on some Secret Service mission of medical crap. This guy, to me, is a bait and switch. He wanted his day in YouTube, and he set up a lawsuit. If I was on the jury, he ain't getting much if he gets anything. The only reason I'd give him something is to penalize the cops.
How you gonna treat me? I didn't do anything. Whoa, hold on. What's going on? Hold on.
Okay, so the guy was there, and he could have unlocked the car door. They were not fearful. This guy used pepper spray for no reason. This guy is wrong. This guy assaulted him for bullshit. This is where he's going to get money in a civil trial, because there was no reason for this cop to do this. They both could have, just because the other cop is too stupid to how to unlock a door, there's no reason to pepper spray. His hands were out the window. You guys weren't scared. You were both standing in front of the window. This is where this guy, the follically challenged dude, screws up. Not once, but several times.
Air 4 OCs deployed.
Total BS. I'm going to keep squirting you, even though you're in a car seatbelt and we were already in front of the car door. Neither of us have our guns out, so we're not fearful. We're just going to pepper spray you. That's bullshit.
Get out of the car! Get out of the car now!
That's fucked up. That's fucked up.
Get out of the car now! Sir, just get out of the car!
I'm trying to breathe.
Get out of the car!
So now we're trying to breathe. You know that was going to come out sooner or later. I can't breathe. It's like they teach that shit in school.
Now!
That's fucked up.
Doctor school.
That's really fucked up.
Get out of the car and get on the ground now! You're gonna get it!
I don't even want to reach my seatbelt. Can you?
Now he says I don't want to reach, and that's probably a good move. But they don't have their guns out now. But he can't see that because he's been pepper sprayed.
Seatbelt off and get out of the car!
Can you please?
Get out of the car now!
Look.
Listen! Take off your seatbelt and get out of the car!
Look, I'm just gonna please.
You're gonna do what you're told! Get out of the car!
See, this is about doing what you're told. This ain't about dealing with a traffic stop or dealing with our fear.
Look.
Finally, the door is unlocked. They could have done that earlier. This is where the cops will lose credibility. Had the other cop unlocked the door, they could have got him out without pepper spraying him. The pepper spray was because this dude wanted to get into, I gave you an order and you didn't follow, so I'm going to make you pay.
Take your seatbelt off and get out of the car!
Look.
Take your seatbelt off!
Look, my hands are out.
Take your seatbelt.
So now he's pretty cooperative. He's not a no guy. Look, my hands are out, my feet's out, because he wants out of the car now. So now he's cooperative. But Rick, they shouldn't have pepper sprayed him. Well, he shouldn't have done a lot of things that put this in action. The cops don't have a lot of justification because they're going to claim fear and officer safety bullshit. But I'm telling you, these guys were not in fear, and anybody that watches this should be able to know that they weren't in fear.
Off and get out of the
My
car.
hands are out.
Don't reach in there, Daniel. Don't reach in there.
My hands are out. Please.
Now he's saying, please. It's funny. People who are always like, get your hands off me. Don't touch me. I ain't getting out of the car. I don't have to get out of the car. All those people later are like, please. Really?
Please. Look. This is really messed up. My dog is in the back. My dog is choking right now.
Get out of the car.
So you do all this and you jeopardize your dog. See, now it's about the dog. That's like the ATF guy. My wife's pregnant. Well, wait a minute, dude. What does that have to... Look, you knew your dog was in a car. You didn't tell him that before. You set this camera up and started saying, I ain't getting out. Get your hands off me. I don't have to get out. And your dog was in a car. How did you think... What the hell do people think is going to happen when cops come up and you do this? Do you think they're going to go, hey, Bob, let's just clear this, man. He don't want to get out. We're leaving. See you later. When was the last time we saw a video that ended that way? I mean, it's just freaking stupid. So I'm tired of the whole, you know, and of course they're rioting in freaking Minnesota again. You know, burn, loot, murder. Burn, loot, murder. That's what they ought to be yelling at their protests.
Get your seatbelt off. What are you, a specialist? Corporal, are you?
I'm a lieutenant.
Lieutenant, get out of the car. Take your seatbelt off and get out of the car. You made this way more difficult than it had to be if you just complied. Get out of the car.
I'm reaching for my seatbelt.
Fine. Take your seatbelt off and...
So, if they were so scared of him before and they had a pepper spray him, why are they allowed to reach in a car? By the way, the gun is right here that neither of them see. So there's a gun right here.
Get out of the car. Straight onto the ground. Straight onto the ground.
Who thinks he's going to lay down? Who thinks he's going to argue about laying down? Well, if you think he's going to argue, you got it right.
Ma'am.
Is your commanding officer available?
Down. Let's go.
Is your commanding
Let's
officer
go.
available?
So he knows how to ask. So he's going to claim that because I was pepper sprayed, I didn't know what was going on. It was very confusing. He wasn't that confused. He knew how to ask for a supervisor. He knew how to ask for a command. He wasn't that confused. But we're going to go to confused here in a second.
Available.
Get on the ground. Get on the ground.
Please talk to me.
See, they don't take control of risks. I mean, right here, when you grab someone's hand, he's grabbing the wrist. He should be grabbing this palm and bending the hand and locking that wrist. Do they not teach wrist and lock movements anymore to cops? I don't see anybody know how to handle the guy anymore.
Talk to
Get
me
on the
about
ground
what's
now.
going on.
Get on the ground or you're getting sprayed again. Get on the ground.
Can you please talk to me about what's
Get
going
on the ground. Get on the ground now.
So he kicks him twice. He's pepper sprayed him.
Can you please talk to me about what's going on?
Get on the ground.
Can you please talk to me about what's
Yes,
going on?
sir.
What is the purpose of getting him on the ground? Besides, no people belong on the ground. They're going to say all felony traffic stops. You prone the guy out and handcuff him so you can search him. They've already put their guns away and they've pepper sprayed him. And this guy, although he's not actively resisting, he's passively resisting by not doing it. What's the purpose of getting him on the ground? Now, there'll be cops that'll say, well, you know, anytime somebody resists, if you put them on the ground, it puts them at a disadvantage, easy control. Well, that may be true. But if a guy, I've gone through all this bullshit now, dude, put your hands behind your back so we don't have to take you to ground. And if he doesn't, well, then okay, great. But they just want him to get on the ground. But get on the ground is the new cop payback thing that if we don't like you and you don't listen to us, we're going to make you lay on the ground so we can jump on you and put our knees on you and dogpile you and rough handle you while you're on the ground. That's the new payback for not kissing police's ass.
You're not. Can you please talk to me about what's going on? Why?
So this guy's talking to me about what's going on. Now, this guy's some medical officer, so he may not be a combat officer. But I guarantee you, if you're in a combat zone and you're stopping somebody at gunpoint and you're getting a guy out of the vehicle for some suspicious, take him into custody or whatever, you don't have time to stand around and bullshit. First of all, you get snapped in a combat, you'll get sniped out in a combat zone, so you want to minimize your, out in the open handling with bullshit anyway. But this guy knows that he is delaying and resisting these guys. He is not cooperating. He may be saying please, he may be playing the victim really well, but he absolutely is not cooperating with this stop. And I get it. He doesn't think he did anything wrong. He's in the military. He thinks he's special. He thinks everybody's going to riot if he gets something to beat him up. So he's got, backup. Whatever.
Why am I being treated like this? Why?
You're not cooperating. Get on the ground.
Why am I being treated like this? This is really messed up. This is really messed up. Sir, well, just.
So two cops are trying to force him on the ground, and he's resisting to where he will not go to the ground.
This is fucked up. Sir. This is fucked up. Sir. This is fucked up. You know this is fucked up.
And I can't tell if he's crying or coughing.
Lay on the ground. Just lay flat. Lay flat for me, sir.
You know this is fucked up.
Sir, lay flat. Lay flat.
This is fucked up. I can't fucking believe I'm being treated like this. And I'm fucking
Get on the ground! Get on the ground!
So again, professional victim. This is fucked up. I'm being treated like this. Well, it's not about you and your color. It's about you and your behavior. And that's what people fail to realize. When burn, loot, murderers out there burning down a city, protesting, tearing up police cars, and looting from businesses, it's their behavior that is the problem.
Right there, right there. What's that?
It's gum. What the fuck?
Get on the ground.
It's gum.
Hey, sir, can you just work with us?
Can I?
Just work with us. Lay down flat.
Hold on.
Lay down flat. Lay down flat.
So the young kid keeps trying to talk him down, de-escalate, and he's trying to work with him. The young kid's going to be much less culpable or, but the senior guy, he's probably been around for a while. He knows the chief. He knows everybody. He's Mr. I was a Marine, and, I don't take shit like that, blah, 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 blah.
Sir,
This
lay
is
down,
really
I'm gonna
fucked
tase you.
up.
Lay down,
Now he's getting threatened to be tased again.
you're gonna
This
get
is
tased.
fucked up.
Lay down, and you're gonna get tased.
Fucked up. This
All right,
is
now
fucked up.
put your hands behind your back. Put your hands behind your back.
This is fucked up. This is fucked up.
I agree. All you had to do was listen.
All right.
Halo 3. One in custody.
This is fucked up. Can you open up the window for my dog?
Again, if he claims I was confused, he was able to ask for a supervisor, and now he's not confused enough to ask him to open the window for his dog, which I commend him for taking care of his dog. But he caused this for his dog. He wasn't thinking about his dog. If he provokes this into where he goes to jail, guess what? His dog gets put in a freaking kennel. He gets locked up. His dog suffers because of his dumbass actions. Maybe he'll put that in a lawsuit. My poor dog. He says he's a service dog too, by the way. I'm like, oh God, here we go.
I'm choking. Can you open up the window, please?
Yes. Yes, we will.
Stand up, okay?
This is fucked up.
Okay, so we can go and listen to this. I'm going to tell you what happened. If you want to go watch a video, it's on police activity. Here's the full title. Unlike the idiots that were telling me to go find it when you only saw the first part. It says Army Lieutenant doing traffic stop. If you want to search that on police activity, it's probably there. He had no rear license plates. Navarro is asking for $1 million in damages for the court to rule that 2 officers violated his rights. Okay. I don't think they violated his Fourth Amendment rights of unlawful search and seizure. He didn't have a plate, and he refused to come out. They had a right to get him out of the car. Now, whether they could be able to claim officer safety and be able to tase him or anything. What I find interesting is at the end here, after all the pepper spray and all this crap, the cops come back and try to talk him in and talk him down and act like we're going to do you a favor. Let's see if I can get to that part. It's toward the end. Here we go.
Here's how that's what I was thinking. I told him what I wanted to do. He said that's no problem.
So this is called selling the ticket or selling the unlawful use of force. He gets the guy to agree that he won't complain, and we'll just all say it's a misunderstanding and you get to leave, or I can arrest you, write you a ticket, and charge you, and then we'll get your Army supervisor involved. Now, the guy does make a good statement. He goes, well, I've got to brief my supervisors anyway. And to be honest, I'd love to hear this guy's briefing on his account of the story before this video. So he better hope he was honest, because if he went in and lied to his people and then they got the video, his shit's going to be more weak. But anyway, of course, the military won't be able to do anything because of quota requirements. We'll just say that.
2 ways we can handle this. We can either sit here with you until you get your eyes back where you can see, and I mean at a good distance so you're safe to drive, okay? And you go on down the road. Go do your deployment. Go continue serving my country, which I respect.
Go serve in my country. I was a Marine. He's selling this guy to get him to say, nobody's going to want to say, let's see, you have the option to go to jail or not go to jail. How many of you people are going to say, I want to go to jail? Raise your hand. Well, you're a freaking idiot. I mean, why would you want to go to jail? Nobody's going to choose to go to jail if they have a choice. So he gives them this choice like he has a choice, but there really is no choice.
and I thank you for, okay? Or we can push the issue, write you tickets for no license plate displayed, and for obstructive of justice. I don't even go that route, because that route makes the Army get involved, and I know how they are. You don't know this. The Army, he'll vouch for it, because he's been in and he's got friends that are legal officers. I know. The military is the only place where the military is the only place where double jeopardy exists legally. Because whenever we do to him, the Army can turn around and jam him for the same thing.
Now that is true, because when you're in military, you fall under UCMJ, and it doesn't matter if the civilians charge you or not. The military can charge you for something under the UCMJ and still convict you, even though the civilians let you go, or even if they convict you. Now, normally, the military will cut a deal with the civilians and say, we want to charge this guy because we can get him more time, and we want you to drop it. And the DA, who works in the area with the military, tries to keep a good communication. They'll say, okay, you can have it. And the DA will refer to the military to handle it, and then they'll jam them up. Sometimes the DA will go, no, we're keeping it. You can do what you want. And then the military will go, well, if he's getting jammed with a civilian, we'll wait and see what happens and then decide if we want to do it too. So that's how that usually works.
I don't want to see that happen.
Of course you don't, because you know you fucked up. You shouldn't have been Mr. Marine tasing his ass or pepper spraying him.
You're obviously a second lieutenant. You ain't been in very long. But if you plan on making this a career or even 6 years or whatever, it's up to you. I don't care. There's no need getting this on your record. I don't want it on your record. However, it's entirely up to you. If you want to fight it and argue,
if you want to fight it and argue, see, this is how we're like, if you agree not to complain, then we'll let you go. See, the most agencies, look, you put hands and you use force, they go to jail. You let a guy go, it looks guilty. These guys look worse because they let him go, because they didn't book him. If he really violated and resisted and did everything they did, why didn't they arrest him? That's going to be a key question in court. So, I don't know who's going to win in court, and I don't know, this guy is not Mr. Innocent Victim, and these guys aren't Mr. We were in fear of our life just doing our job. There ain't no good guys here, in my opinion, and that's the way I call this one. All right, we'll end that there.